one. Hi, this is the Hero Podcast. My name is Ryan G from ADS Aligned Data Strategy with my co-host, the real Pete Kirkwood, pardons, from the Kingmaker, the Hero Maker, all the way from New Zealand. Pete, what is our topic?
Well, Ryan, today, I want to talk about heroes. I want to talk about heroism. I'm always loving to talk about that. And I want to talk about everyday heroism, everyday heroes, right? How we can just get it more of a understanding and a concept and a thinking of being a hero, living heroically, doing heroic things just every day.
Right.
I think we could all use a bit of everyday heroism in our lives. You know what I mean?
I think I follow, sure. But give me a few examples.
Fair good, fair call. So when we think about things, we often think from a very specific viewpoint, and that's our own, from a very self-centered specific viewpoint. What can I do that benefits me, that makes me feel good? This can be like, I want to eat an ice cream. I feel good. I want to work out, which is pain for reward, but I'll feel good. I want to, pursue this beautiful woman that I've met and see what might be there. That takes effort, but it results in feel good. And each of those things is going up in complexity. Just putting some sugar in your mouth is a real good solution to feeling good. But serving your community and helping those around you and creating lasting impacts and memories and results for people in ways that change their life, that is being a hero. And it's on a bigger level. Now, you don't always need to think, how can I be saving my community and trying to think at a big picture level. A lot of people have been finding their calls with me have really helped them get the glimpse of it, though, that they need to operate with and that understanding, so they have a base point for day to day going through things. Because there's so many simple things that make up the mesh of human interaction that are really actually kind of cool, but we forget to respect them. Like, perfect example is someone who works in the armed forces. They are upholding the foundation of the philosophy and the society that everything we sit on is built. That means you can have a conversation with someone to settle a dispute instead of it becoming violent, because we have a society that has laws and rules and everything, and it's upheld by men and women who give their time to join the armed forces, the police, even government bureaucrats and things like this. They're all contributing to serve. Now, not all of them do it with the best intentions. Plenty of them do it, from weird places, from wrong places, from all sorts of stuff. But we do need this kind of a system to run society. And we forget about how important it is, because what that system runs is people's lives. So when you're working as a part of that system, the actions and things that you can take can make a huge difference. There's a huge difference between taking an extra 5 minutes to genuinely understand the trauma victim that's walked in through that door, when you're working an administrative role in a medical area or a police area or something like that. And that person comes into you going, hey, I'm going to really connect to this person on a human level and treat them at a very human level. Right there, that is true heroism. It's being there for another person that you didn't have to be, but you stepped the fuck up. And that can be done in the way that you deliver a paper to somebody versus where you just throw it on the ground in the wet grass, or where you actually make sure it's nicely at their door every day. Tiny little things, but whatever your job is, whatever you do, whatever your task, whatever your role, wherever you're contributing, it's about doing it in a way that says, you know what, I'm proud of who I am, what I do, what I contribute, and I know that it makes a difference. It might be a small difference, but I respect that, and I'm going to do it heroically. I'm going to do it with self-respect. I'm going to do it from a position where it's something I can be proud of. I can look anyone in the eyes and say, hey, I might clean toilets, but I clean toilets in a way that nobody else cleans toilets. And if you give that 110% into cleaning toilets, I guarantee you few other factors in life and a few other good decisions, and that work ethic is going to spiral and network into maybe a position where you administrate the cleaning department for an entire large company, or it might be your own cleaning business. Depends what choices you make, but cleaning toilets can have a bright future. We think of it as such a, oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't work in fast food. I wouldn't flip burgers. I wouldn't clean toilets. I wouldn't sweep rubbish. And we get attitudes and airs, and it becomes, I've been guilty of this and things myself. Oh, well, I couldn't just get a regular job. I couldn't just work in hospitality. I couldn't just do that. I want to be a movie star. I want to be a rock star. I want to be an actor. I want to go and do something cool with my life. And sometimes that even works out, right? A lot of people probably run off to join the military to be cool and end up actually really getting a good fundamental understanding of a lot of fundamental life lessons that they probably might have missed out on growing up. But that everyday heroism in the way people choose to do whatever it is that they're doing, that has inspired me. The work that I've just been doing over the past couple of weeks, I've been talking to so many people, reaching out for client calls and stuff, and I'm giving a big picture to people, but I'm also seeing this huge web that's made up of all of us, that we all work together and we all contribute our own things and our own gifts to society. And a lot of the time, being a hero is actually quite easy because it's just actually doing what we feel and what we want to express that we hold ourselves back from. I had a call. It was very intense, some very, very heavy shit regarding death and that kind of stuff. And it left me with a lot of energy. And how I chose to handle that was a moment where I could choose to be a hero or whatever. No one would have judged me for going and binging on a bunch of ice cream and rah, and I just need to get through this, right? That's one way of doing it. I called a bunch of people who I wouldn't normally call and had more challenging conversations than I normally would, and worked that energy off. And then those people came back a couple of days later and were like, holy shit, I'm so glad we had that conversation. And those ripples were so good, right? It almost feels weird to say it's heroic, because when I look at it from my own perspective, I'm like, man, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing what I'm called to do. But it's that natural expression, right? Like, being a hero is not that hard. Just be the best yourself and you'll be acting heroically. Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you get that vibe when you're working, that you can see how other people express it in a heroic way? But when it comes to yourself, Ryan, do you find it hard to credit yourself with acting heroically in what you do?
Oh, to a certain extent. To a certain extent, of course, because one, let's say if you would do something masterful
Yeah.
and it happens to be an heroic act and you do it on a daily, let's say, the little appreciation that you get from whatever clients or whatever granny you're helping cross the street, it's inevitable. It's like getting complimented, like, Ryan, you have a fantastic beard. Of course I do.
Yeah,
Of course I do.
absolutely. You do.
I take care of it. I make sure I am. It's but also not from a perspective of you should compliment me because I'm doing this. No, because that's weak. It is
Yes, I
mostly
see.
like I do this for me. If I see, for an instant, this happened during a date where it was a bit windy. We're walking towards the end of the date, and there was this, I believe, Ethiopian mother with her kids, and her baby carriage fell because of an imbalance. And I saw it, immediately picked it up, didn't even question it, gave the baby carriage to the woman. There was, thank God, no kid in the baby carriage, but there's an immediate rebalancing of her panic. Like, okay, cool, there's someone to help
Yeah.
me out just in case. I said, is everything, I simply asked, is everything right? Can I help you with anything? Like, no, thank you, you helped enough. I appreciate it. And we went along our way, and I immediately continued the date. Didn't even I didn't even acknowledge it because that's who I am.
Yep.
If I see someone that really needs the help and my hands are free, who am I to deny myself the chance to not only show off heroism, but to demonstrate to myself that I am a good person? Not that
Yes.
I'm not, but you know the we as men always seek that little bit of extra validation, like I exist not only for myself, but to be of service to the world.
You're right.
And it's in that coloring or in that spirit that people become great. It's the funny part when a few months ago around December I decided to do a 30-day straight or 21-day straight recording of cold baths, cold showers that I do, and really showing the pain. And
Yep.
December, especially in the northern European areas, it's fucking cold and it hurts. It really hurts. We're talking about below zero temperatures. It sucks.
It's
So not
sting, man.
only, yeah, it stings, especially after the 2 minutes. Ugh. And then those I did the Wim Hof style. So 2 minutes cold, 30 seconds warm, and then 1 minute cold. And the last 1 minute went by very fast, but the first 2 minutes sucked balls. But what I
Mm.
didn't realize was, one, people thought I was depressed because I was using the handle "fuck depression," but the people that resonated with that started to do the Wim Hof method themselves and doing their own research. Because why would Ryan do this for 30 days straight? He probably did, people were asking me these questions. I mean, really, you could see who the haters were. You could really see who the perverts were. Because, I'm doing this bare chested. Probably more than bare chested, but you get the point. But I wasn't necessarily doing this, out of kindness towards people that have depression. I figured if I'm dealing with it, I might as well show my struggle live or semi live, let's say. And
I
it's
agree.
in that not only intention, but actively pursuing the adversity within dealing with depression is that I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't expect it to happen in the way that it happened, where
Mm.
people older than me started to research the Wim Hof method and actively pursue it. Where I have one of my former business intelligence teachers literally go out in his underwear and sit in the or lie in the snow. I wouldn't even do that. And it's like, bro, that's insane that you literally record this. It's like, yeah, bro, you inspired me. I was like, awesome. And it's like months ago before he even saw my videos and whatever. And from the perspective of heroism, you're not, is it's not virtue signaling.
Mm.
It is to be a virtue. It's not
Yes.
virtue seeking. It is to literally be. You're not simply demonstrating you're a good person. You are a good person. It's like, of course I would. It's not I have to do this because I want this result. No, I simply do it because this is what I am. And it's in that coloring, or in that spirit, you should go about your day. I am a good person. I am a strong man. I am good at my job. I am good at helping people. I very much appreciate what happens when people get an excellent product because it's
Absolutely.
craft. It's at some point when you let's say if you would use, let's say, NLP knowledge, say you would have all the necessary skills to become a master already, and you already had all the money that you need or need it, not only to pay your bills but to live the life that you want.
Mm. Mm.
What would happen is evidently you become a form of a Picasso. Not only are you a master uh, artisan, what you truly am becoming is you're relearning the game continuously, like how Picasso would do. He became such a brand that he hated being the brand. That he would every 10 years reinvent himself from more abstractness to cubism or whatever, more realistic and more fictional, and you name it. And he would become such a staple that even though it's cubism, you would still see it's Picasso because
Mhm.
he's literally the master of it. So, what can you do in your own life to become a master of heroism? It's just simply ask yourself, where can I be more kinder? Also,
Big
towards
time.
myself. And also, where can I be more of ease with whatever obstacle that comes my way and to move with power, knowing that one, I am a good man, I am a good woman. And whatever I do, I also do for me because in the end of the day, I do it so that I can feel good about myself. And if it helps people, all the better. Your thoughts, Pete.
You've hit on so many cool and key points here. Like, I feel that it really highlights how simple, how easy, and how widespread and common heroism is accessibly, right? We always have these little choices to be heroic in our daily lives. All of us. We can always choose to do something a little bit more heroic, express ourselves a little bit more authentically. You know, if you look at all the heroes of old, they always are true to themselves. Robin Hood, he wasn't like, I need to go and work out how I can get people to like me. If I was to give them a lot of money, where would I get a lot of money? He was like, no. He came from a place of, hang on, these guys are living in ridiculous excess and these guys are living in poverty, and that's not okay. I'm going to do something about it. It was an authentic expression that created the hero. And in our day-to-day lives, it's funny you bring up the cold shower thing, because I did start to do that. I did start to put videos online of my cold showers, and I was recommended politely that it's not a good idea during an election because of the implied nudity and things like that. And I was like, well, I get the point. I see this, but it's interesting how it speaks about our society. Like, taking that lead and that action in that unknown direction. It's like, oh, don't know about that. And there's like a vibe. And a lot of those things that are a bit different, a bit outside the norm, are the heroic. And it's tragic that it's become normal to not be a hero. Like, you see it socially, the way the world's been shaken by this bullshit over the last year, that people are timid and afraid to interact with others instead of being able to just lean into those interactions and be like, hey, you dropped something, here you go. You can see them almost in their mind go, are they going to be okay if I touch their stuff? Fuck that, right? If someone's got a problem, they'll tell you they've got a problem, and it's their fucking problem. It's not your problem. If you reach out, if you offer out, if you do something out of the goodness of your heart, and someone else is having whatever issues in their own mind that they can't accept it, not your problem. We've seen plenty of heroes completely ridiculed by the people they were saving. Sometimes long after they've been saved, they just never understand. What is it? It's the Batman saying, oh, it's not the hero they need or the hero they deserve right now, and
It's
whatever,
not the
whatever
hero
gravelly voice.
they want, but it's the hero they need, you mean.
Perfect, right? And
Yeah, it's
I
it's the it's the thankless job of being medicine. Nobody wants it, but everybody needs it.
It is, and I think that the thankless job is a really good frame to remember, because often we forget to thank ourselves,
Yeah.
right? We forget to really go, you know what? Good on me for doing what I've done. You know, I had the choice this afternoon to go, man, my day's fucked. I've only got half a workout in, right? I'm coming up to where I'm supposed to be breaking my fast, and I haven't even actually properly worked out. This is all fucked.
Mhm.
Or I had the opportunity to say, I've been on the phone all day. I've been of service, and I've been literally doing for people. It's just been such a fantastic day. I've provided so much. My workout is a what's the word? It's like a minor casualty, because I did it in the afternoon. That's not how I want to do things, but I was able to express myself. But I had to be able to thank myself. And I was quite
Mm.
fortunate that one of my calls, there was a really large part of appreciation where he was just, I'm so grateful for you being here in this moment, because it's easy for us to take things for granted. And as men, we often forget to actually show appreciation in our communication and gratitude and respect for the things we do for each other. Like, I don't say it enough, especially in this podcast, how much you have helped me get my head into the game for business and what that's done. Like as a coach, as a business coach, you've even been fairly hands off. You've only done sort of what was like, well, this is what we want to work on, this is what we work on, but it's been so impactful because of where you've come from. And for me to be like, oh, I want to say that, right? Like I think it and I'm like, well, you know it, but we don't say that. And a lot of the time when we're there for each other, we don't express that appreciation, especially as men, especially as brothers. You know, we do things for each other and the rest of it, and we feel the appreciation, but we never build on it
Express it.
with an expression of words and things. And I've
Mm.
found that taking some time to just express it when it's genuine. I've even messaged some of my brothers and just said, hey, bro, you're a legend. I love you. And they're like, whoa, what's this for? And I'm like, I was feeling it. I saw something you did or thought about something, and I just wanted to say it in this moment because we don't say it enough. And no one's ever said to me, yeah, well, now you say it too much. Shut up. Right? and
That's a good one.
I think that this healthy expression has been really stifled by the events of the last year or so. And I see your strength in your business, how you help communication to flow healthily around these key metrics and data points and things which are so critical. And even if you don't understand about measuring data or any of that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter because that's your job. So it's anyone who's got like, hey, I want to see what I can improve my business. Don't worry about the details. Just talk to Ryan and you'll step up and be a hero and you'll do the fighting that they don't need to learn with the numbers, but you'll get the job done, you know, and you'll just do it like a hero. But we have this thing called a business, which has measured cost and calculation, that we layer over things. So that value exchange will still happen. The money still transfers, you still get paid, people get appreciated, and we don't have to make an effort to express our appreciation. But when we do that on top, that's where all the difference is. And I see that in not just you and not just myself, but in many of our IMC brothers and many of the other people I know who get it in life, is that a willingness to express that appreciation just a little bit extra. And if you're not doing a little bit extra, take that hint, try it a bit, right? Use it. What are your thoughts? We're coming up on half an hour for sure.
Well, let's see. How much time do you have? 7 minutes. All right. One, I appreciate you appreciating the work I've done for you. As minimum as I try to make it. Uh, you made me
Appreciate
laugh a
that.
bit because I remember, although we're not friends, I haven't been friends in a while. This thankfulness book where you simply thank the events that happened, or you thank yourself, or you thank the things that you have. One of the things that I decided to change was make it a bit more NLP and simply talk to myself through uh, three things I'm grateful for. And the way I do it is I call out myself in the sense of Ryan, comma, I am grateful for. And then according to the Stoic principles or minimalism would simply be I'm grateful for that I have a place to call home or home to come back to. I'm grateful for that I at least have a living parents that actually care about me and that care about my well being and my future. I'm really grateful to have a roof over my head, a warm bed to sleep in, and to be quite honest, warm water because those cold baths suck dick. I'm grateful for the food that I can eat and that it even tastes great. And then you have the power of this book because everything that I just written down is
Mm,
already enough. And anything more is abundance, which makes me
I see.
inabundant, which makes me abundant. Meaning all the women that I date, all the money that I make, all the people that I help. I have more than enough reasons to feel grateful, to feel kindness, to give kindness because I'm in abundant. It comes all the way back to the master artisan. If I already have the money, the fame, and the skills, why would I not be?
Exactly. And that beingness is that ability for us to tap into that heroicness. You know, it's a label we can choose to, in that moment, be grateful, and that is the heroic thing to do. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that when you said I'm grateful for these things, because the thing that I really saw was I looked back and there was a decision I made. It was not an easy decision. I had to really swallow my ego. People know, you know, you just fucking push Pete Kirkwood's ego and he'll bite back, you know, push on his politics or, you know, his beliefs or something, and the rest of it. And I had that moment where I was like, you know what? I know this person doesn't get it. And I know that's not their fault. I know they've just been taught wrongly and they've just been taught stuff that doesn't serve them and doesn't help them. But what I need to do in this moment is be bigger than that and just be grateful and take that opportunity. And what that resulted in, where that expanded to, I could never have foreseen that coming, ever. I'm like, we don't have that much time to get into it. But it's one of those things where believing and trusting in the concept of doing the right thing, the little thing that's important, and doing it well is being a hero. And it's something you can take pride in, and it's something you can thank yourself for and be grateful for, that we don't allow ourselves enough as men. That's really what I want to get across on this one, you know? Final thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah. Doing the right thing, not simply from a heroic perspective, but simply from a peace of mind perspective, is extremely important.
Mm.
If you look at the criminals that turned themselves in, is that they couldn't live with the guilt anymore. So that's a very important lesson as well. Do the right thing for yourself, especially because you cannot live with the guilt. It will kill you, it will make you sick. God knows what that other domino effects that will have for you. So, if one important lesson is to be taken from this is playing, instead of playing not to lose, play to win. And if you're gonna
Absolutely.
win, why not win from a place of ease, a place of power, a place of gratefulness, and of course, in the action, doing the right things, so that you're truly being of service to the world, to yourself, to your family, to the community. It is about being the bigger man that you can truly be, because you're doing the right things, because it's your standard, it is your
Mm-hmm.
principle. Be a man of
Mm-hmm.
principle, demonstrate fortitude, be the fortitude that you needed when you were a young kid. It's the whole philosophy of being the solid father. Be the father that your father couldn't be for you, and more. Your final thoughts.
Yeah, man, that's so important. You know, be the hero that you needed, right? Be the father for yourself that your father couldn't be. Whatever it was where they slipped a bit, right? All of our parents did their, well, whatever they thought was their best. Um, I had just a concept there in my mind for a second, and then you went a bit further and I went past it. But essentially, it's this simple, right? Being a hero is just doing the right thing, no matter how hard it is. And there's a lot of men listening to this podcast who they're going to have something pop up in their mind and they think, and it's then they're going to have their mind give them some bullshit that's going to stop them from taking action and doing the right thing. If the right thing is reaching out to Ryan for help with your business, or for reaching out to the real Pete Kirkwood to have a conversation about that bigger picture perspective and where you want to go with your life and what you want to achieve, right? If you know that you should do this, take that step and move it forward and be courageous and do it. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you that's the right thing to do. And I fucking guarantee it, because I'm going to be courageous and heroic and step up and guarantee the value I provide, because I know it. I know how good I am at what I do, and I know how good you are at what you do. And I can say that we can stand on that, and we will step up for anyone who will step up for themselves and ask for help. Because sometimes it takes a true hero to do that. You know, Achilles doesn't have a rousing speech for the men because he doesn't ask them for their help to go to war. So don't be afraid, men. do the right thing, be a hero, step up, serve, ask, whatever it is, do the right thing. That's me, the real P. Kirkwood.
Fantastic. Well, this is the end of the podcast. This has been the Hero Podcast 64. My name is Ryan G from ADS Aligned Data Strategy, with, of course, my co host, the real Pete Kirkwood, your hero maker, your kingdom builder. And I wish you a fantastic life. May your life never be the same. Good night.